Let's talk about it, though, because this England roster, when it dropped by Thomas Tuchel and the 26 players that were listed, so much of the conversation was about who was missing on this roster, whether it was Trent Alexander-Arnold, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, and now Mike Lahoud. They enter this World Cup with a big target on their back. How much pressure is on the manager, though, Thomas Tuchel?
Look, I don't care what the contract says for Thomas Tuchel. I don't care what it's written in terms of his longevity with this national team. He's got to get to a semifinal or bust for me, because he's made some massive decisions. When you look at this roster, okay, goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, that's a mainstay. I like everything I see with the Nico O'Reillys, the Concas, John Stones. You need some elder statesmen, but the John Stones that barely played this season.
We like to say veterans.
Veterans, thank you very much.
Please.
AARP for English people. No, John Stones, I question that one. Yeah. And maybe you could say he was part of the setup in qualifiers, but he hasn't gotten any minutes, or many minutes. But Trevor Chalobah, Tone, am I crazy for this? If you're Thomas Tuchel.
Didn't have a good year.
And you decide when Tino Livramento gets injured, feel for Tino, gets injured, you call Trevor Chalobah in, who was poor for Chelsea, and you still leave out Trent? What's behind that?
Yeah, and Harry Maguire, I don't know. I mean, Harry Maguire is another one of those guys in the misses, right, that you were talking about. And we were chatting about this in the morning, right? I feel like there's a lot of similarities between what Thomas Tuchel has done and what Mauricio Pochettino has done with regards to the identity is about the group, right? And maybe I don't need all the superstars. Yeah. Maybe all the superstars can't fit in the puzzle. Maybe I don't need Cole Palmer to fit in the puzzle. And it's about who's Jordan Henderson is one of those guys, right? That kind of people scratch their head a little bit about, a little bit older player, but you talked about you need the veterans, right, in that group. So I feel like he has certainly prioritized that rather than the guy that might be just slightly better, right, individually, but fits into the group. Now, the proof is going to be in the pudding. 5 weeks from now, we're going to make a determination on whether Thomas Tuchel was right or Thomas Tuchel was wrong in his decision-making. Same thing with a guy like Mauricio Pochettino. Was it right or was it wrong? I think that's where he went. And as a guy that's coming in from the outside, not being an English coach, right, it was truly a clean slate. Right, which every manager says, right, all the time. Well, it's a clean slate. Everyone's got, and then in the end, you're like, nah, BS. It wasn't a clean slate. But this is kind of where I see Thomas Tuchel and his decisions.
Yeah, and it ultimately will be determined what happens at the end of it. You're saying a semifinal run, of course. They're trying to break a drought. Is it 60 years?
60 years.
They've won a World Cup for England, but it starts today, Martello, because it is England against Croatia in a huge matchup, a mouthwatering one that we get to witness. What's your storyline to watch?
My storyline was right there. How much pressure do these guys have? 60 years without winning thing, reaching a semifinal, getting to the Euros twice and losing in the finals to Italy. So when you look at this team, is how much pressure do they have? Can they get past that pressure? Can they? And I disagree a little bit. I think they have to reach a final, and they have to win it finally, because we talked about this golden generation of English players, and we've seen it over the last 8 years. This is it. After this, what really, the Harry Kanes are gone to the world, you know what I mean? So for this team, the storyline is how are they going to handle the pressure of having to win the World Cup?
Okay, so you say a semifinal is where England have to
minimum.
You say a final. Tony, what do you say for England?
Yeah, for them, what is it? It's got to come home, right? Yeah. It's coming home. If it doesn't come home, then it's going someplace else, which is not good enough for me for this English side.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've gotten your storyline to watch. What about you, Big Tones? Storyline?
The Harry Kane storyline. Like I think we talked about Messi earlier in the show. Like we've been blessed, right, with Messi and seeing him. I think we've also been blessed with Harry Kane and just seeing one of the greatest strikers of this generation. He does a little bit of everything. Not only that, he's a leader. He's a professional. Always does it the right way. I think going to the Bundesliga. Playing in Germany, playing with that team, with Bayern Munich in Champions League, has kind of opened up our idea of Harry Kane and how he plays and the things that he can do. My concern is what happens if Harry Kane goes down? Who's the guy? Is it Ivan Toney? I mean, who's the guy that picks up the pieces, right, for them? Because I think we're looking at a generational guy here. I've been on record saying, and I know that, I hope England doesn't take it home from the U.S., right? I'm just on record saying it. But if they do win the World Cup, this is the one guy that I would be happiest for, is Harry Kane. Because I think if anybody deserves a World Cup on this English side, it's this guy right here.
Of course it is him.
You know what you just did, Tony? You just manifested an England-U.S. men's national team World Cup final.
I would be okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely be okay with that.
I'd be about that life as well. So I love your talk about Harry Kane. My big concern for England are who are going to be the three players underneath Harry Kane. Yeah. We've seen that there's competition for places in this English national team. Is it going to be Jude Bellingham? It should be Thomas Tuchel. It should be. Or is it going to be Morgan Rogers? That's a big debate, and I think Jude Bellingham has to play. I don't care where you put him. He's got to be on the field. Now, there is a team that's playing against England, and obviously we know Croatia. And every single time, I've learned this lesson with Croatia, every single time you count them out, you do it so at your own peril. But this is an aging Croatian team. Luka Modrić, 40 years old. Ivan Perisic, who balled out against England in that semifinal matchup, got a goal and assist. He's 37. So my big storyline I'm looking at is this young generation, is this next generation ready to step up? Perisic, so you covered him with Serie A. Cello, you're going to get to love Perisic. He's such a good player. But now I want to see where Zlatko Dalic puts him. He's played advance as one of the two underneath the center forward for Croatia, but I think his best position, Lisa, is actually as a deep-lying playmaker. I'd love to see him right next to Luka Modrić and see those two run the show. And Martin Baturina, a friend of the show, he came on Morning Footy. I think it was the Coppa Italia semifinal against Inter. He's just got something special about him. He could be a difference maker off the bench. But these two players, it's going to be their first World Cups. They could be the ones to shine. Yeah,
young players have an opportunity to make statements in this World Cup, especially when you look at this Croatian side. But if you look at how these two teams are most likely going to line up today and face each other, where on the pitch, Mike, will this game be won for Croatia?
Yeah, Croatia needs to have someone replace Mario Mandzukic. And for me, the big thing that they do, the biggest strength of theirs is definitely in the midfield. For me, this combination of Baturina, should he start, and Ivan Perisic. For England, Nico O'Reilly on the left, he's going to be bombing forward. Anthony Gordon, they're going to be trying to have this good telepathic relationship. But if you can get an injury-prone Reece James, 1v1, with the likes of Perisic and Baturina, and if it's Noni Madueke, if you're Croatia, switch the ball as soon as possible and get service into the final third. Ivan Perisic is one of the best crossers of the ball at this World Cup. He's proven it over his illustrious career. I watched him do it for PSV in the Dutch Eredivisie. But I just wonder if this could be the World Cup to remember for Peter Musa. We watch him for FC Dallas. It's going to be a big, big decision who Zlatko Dalic puts into the number 9. But I think out wide, on this left-hand side, that's where a lot of the goals come from.
Okay, so we're looking at this left flank for Croatia. Marcelo, what about for England? Where's this game going to be won?
Oof, and their strength, pressing, going fast, going forward, getting balls into Harry Kane. For me, when the English are at the best, they're getting wide, they're getting balls into the box. That's what they do. And especially if you can get Harry Kane in there, you can get Bellingham in there. When you look at this team, the only thing that concerns me is weather. Weather, because the English are not, we've seen the commercials where they walk out in their uniforms, they explode in their uniforms because they're not used to the heat. So anytime you've seen them play in some sort of heat, their game slows down. And when you slow down, now all of a sudden that's going to give Croatia an opportunity to do their things. But I think the key is how quickly can you get Harry Kane and how often can you get the ball to Harry Kane?
Saka on the bench, right? Looks like Madueke is going to play today. A little bit of a injury. For me, if these two guys, a little bit older, Modrić and Kovacic, have to defend a lot today, I think Croatia's in trouble, right? You want the ball at their feet. They're music makers, right? They control the tempo of the game. But of course, I think this team will be pinned back a little bit. But you talk about a small country. There's no smaller country that plays better football that we've seen over the last 25 years than this country right here, and they'll be up to the challenge. There's no doubt.
One of the matches to watch in this group stage. Okay, these guys, they told you why, the ins and outs, the nitty-gritty of this game, but everyone watching on YouTube, they just want to make money, guys. They're asking for John Buckets Eimer to come in. We see your comments, and we will give you exactly what you want. We are pleased to welcome in Buckets. Hey, John, everyone's asking for you. Are you ready? Big pressure today for this game.
Big pressure, Lisa. Thank you for having me. I'm always nervous to talk about England. I was on last night, and I said I was very pro-England, and Ian Joy booed me for the next 10 minutes. So it can be tough out here when you back an England side, but I do think there's okay, here we go again. There's value to be had when you're betting on this England side, especially, as you guys mentioned, when they're playing an aging Croatia team. Right now, my two bets for this game are England over 1.5 team total, so it's England to score 2 or more, which we're getting at plus money. I know that Croatia has a ton of football heritage. I know how good this side are, and I know that England a lot of times does not live up to expectations, but Croatia's just been struggling lately, both in their friendly and their last couple World Cup qualifiers. We saw them play their best squad, and Croatia conceded once to Faroe Islands and 2 to Montenegro. If England plays their best football, which I know that they are capable of finding, I think they're going to win this game, and I think they're going to put a couple goals in as well. And then bet number 2, for breakfast this morning, I had a big bowl of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm just going for the main man to score. Harry Kane right now to score or assist is minus 110. It's almost even money, a little bit of juice here. But if someone's going to score for England, and I say this as a Bayern Munich fan, so of course there's a little bit of bias, I don't know how you don't bet Harry Kane every single match he plays across the entirety of the World Cup. It feels as close to free money as we can get. Free money doesn't exist in betting. We got to bet responsibly, but I will always take Harry Kane if I can get him at odds like this, guys.
What do you think? You like these bets, guys? You're in on it?
I can't. It's hard to bet against Harry Kane, right? In what he does, there's no doubt.
It's hard to bet against him. You putting money on him?
No, look, I'm not going to bet against buckets.
I know you're going to go against me.
I'm trying to throw you a curveball, but I can't. So, because I usually come in hot with buckets, but he's on a heater, man.
Yeah, he is.
You seen his parlays? You seen his record?
Hey,
you can't miss.
Hey, let's go. That's why everyone on YouTube is like, give us John buckets. John, thanks so much. Appreciate it.